I now call the meeting of the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic standards, to under to justice for all.
Welcome to the Hillsborough County Code Enforcement Special Magistrate hearing. When addressing the Special Magistrate, please state your name, address, and speak clearly into the microphone. If you're planning on speaking at the hearing, you should have signed in at the speakers list located in the front. Presentations by the county respondent or respondents and opposition must be kept to a maximum of 10 minutes each. The special magistrate may recess at 12:30 and reconvene at 1:30 to conclude business if necessary. The basic procedure for the hearing is as follows. Your case will be announced. Ms. Rodriguez will conduct the oath of witness. Staff will present their evidence on your case. You will be allowed to rebut the evidence and explain what has occurred. I will close the hearing and announce a decision. All decisions will be based on the gravity of the violation, action taken by the violator, and the violator's history. I may ask questions and allow other witness testimony if necessary. If I issue an order for compliance, it is your responsibility to notify the code enforcement officer on or before the date ordered to demonstrate that the violation or violations have been corrected. Depending on my order, code enforcement staff may later have to conduct an inspection to see if you have complied. If staff believes you have not complied, you'll receive a notice by mail. By law, you have 10 days to contest the notice. Otherwise, it will be considered correct and a lien may be filed against your property. If you have any questions, these rules are outlined in Hillsborough County Code of Ordinances and Laws, Chapter 14, Article 2, Section 14. Any person who decides to appeal a decision of the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate will need a record of the proceedings. The record will comprise of the testimony and evidence upon which was appealed. The appeal is based. It is your responsibility to ensure a verbatim record of the proceedings is made. By law, you have 30 days from the date of the order of appeal to the special magistrate's decision to circuit court. Before we begin, please silence all electronic devices. The minutes of previous meetings, February the 12th, 2021, and May the 18th, 2021, are approved. And if you would administer the oath of office.
Will all county staff giving testimony please stand and raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You may be seated.
First case, please.
First case is on page 1, item 1, case number CE 2000-3752, Mikhail Sabiza and Martha Gaucho. This case was continued from the June 11th hearing. Do you have that right up? Thank you. Please come forward, raise your right hand.
Good morning.
Both of you, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
That's true.
Please state your name and address for the record, each of you.
Michael Subiza, Spring Road on Williams Boulevard.
Marta Wasco and Spring Road and Williams Boulevard.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Donald K. Bowling, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This is the third hearing after two continuances. The first being by yourself, Mr. Bordenero, to give them an opportunity to show that they got permission from the county to build this fence, which failed. The second was the previous hearing, which the magistrate gave them till today to apply for and obtain either a variance or a conditional use permit. As it is, I visited the property on 7/6/2021. It still does not use conventional fencing method or materials. And again, this is to see if they got a variance or a conditional use permit.
Sir,
Good morning, sir.
do you have the
Sir,
variance?
yes, I have the proof. We submit the permits. But I want to remove this, I have a plenty proof right now. I'm hiring an architect when I spend a lot of money for no reason, but anyway, we have to do it. We have the proof, the material we use is approved for the Florida, for the Hillsborough. The material we use, the code, it put it, is nothing to do with the material we put. It's two different material, two different. We have all the proof right here. We go to the personal, the company sell the material to me. We hire in the company, is impairment, go check the installation, make sure the installation is right. So everyone is, with this documentation, he approved me, the material we use, the way we install the frame, that's the right way. So I don't know what I can do anymore. I already get the permits no matter what. I have the proof right here. We get the permit, to do, make sure we can approve the fence, whatever. But I don't know what I can do anymore. I already do everything you guys asking me to do.
Did you? So you have the variance?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, unless I'm missing something, it does say that the site plan and product approved material FL 12575.1. I am assuming that is the variance. I'd like to look at that, make sure. That's where they paid for the variance. That's where they got it back. I cannot read the small numbers on there now. Can read where they paid the fees. And it is from Hillsborough County. See what it says on the bottom there. In big bold letters. Okay.
They have to issue him a variance for the material also because it's not acceptable in the Hillsborough County.
All right, so this is just showing they've applied for it. Now they're waiting for approval.
They have to obtain approval.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. We don't know where we are. Right.
Ma'am, you need to speak into the mic, please.
Yeah, we're waiting for your what decision that you have.
Well, see, if,
Yeah.
now they're
Oh,
admitting to.
my question is, when I hear, they say the material is not approved from Florida, but I show you the paper for the Florida department, this material is approved for Florida. I saw how the stamp and everything. So how we can say it's not approved in Florida? I mean, we had the proof right there.
Okay, this stack that you handed me
Yeah.
that tells about the material is from the company itself.
Yeah, but this one, the other one in the bottom,
The bottom.
the bottom one, it had the stamp. No, the same paper you say is the company, but you had the bottom stamp.
The bottom is stamped. That's just a survey.
So,
This was done by a company.
yeah, but this company,
Nah.
that's why you sell this product, because
Oh.
if for some reason you sell the product, I mean, I don't know too much
Okay,
about the law.
this was not done by the county. This was done by the people selling you the fence.
Okay.
Okay. This was done by the county, which says you've applied for the variance to be able to put the fence where it is, for one thing, I believe, and that the material you're using is in compliance. What you're going to need to do is you're going to have to follow up with permitting to see if they're going to issue that variance.
Okay.
You only did this on the 9th.
Yeah, the same, soon we came to the court, then I give you everything to my architect, then he do it. So,
Okay, well, I hate to do it, but we're going to have to do this. I'm going to continue it to the next hearing. Or, yeah, the next hearing's the best I can do. What you need to bring is a document from the county giving you a variance to be able to use that material and put the fence where they want to put the fence.
but soon
Okay.
after the, review I have to wait for the county, no? To review the permits, no? I have to wait
Yes.
for, yeah, I mean, I'm not controlling that. I mean, I have to go, because he told me, when we go to the county, we get the permits, told me, how long it take? He said, we send it to you, the paper, so you have to wait. I mean,
You could follow up with a call because you just paid this on the 9th.
mhm.
Today is what?
18, I think 18.
9 days? You're not going to get a variance in 9 days. Okay, we're going to continue it. Do we have a date or no? Not yet. August
We
3rd.
have a date right now of August 13th. Anything past that, we don't have
Okay.
scheduled yet. Hopefully by that hearing date, we'll have more dates if need be.
All right. Be back here August the 13th. What you want is the approved variance from the county. All right? Yeah, and I don't know if you all made copies of this.
Yeah, you can take it, all this copy.
Yeah, I realize that, but this writing is awful small on here. Did you run it through a machine or they gave it to you this way?
No, he sent the email to me, then I print it.
It's an email.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when you bring one big,
Do you want to be?
bring one that is readable,
All right, no problem.
okay? All right, we're going to keep this as evidence. It's going to be continued. And we will see you August 13th. Next case.
All right.
Thank you.
Next case is on page 1, item 2, case number CE 2000-7026, Dwayne Wilson. This case was continued from the June 11th hearing. Do you have that write-up?
I do.
Thank you. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Please pull your mask up. And each of you state your name and address for the record.
11648 Timber Ridge Drive, Tampa, Florida. Dwayne Wilson.
Patricia Murray, 11648 Timber Ridge Drive, Tampa, Florida, 33625.
Thank you. Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yep,
Thank you.
Okay, officer, go ahead.
My name's Mike Smoke, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This is the third hearing on this piece of property. The first hearing occurred on May 18th, and then it was continued to June the 11th. And the issue at hand was the homeowners or the property owners' attempts to get variances for the violations that were cited. Those violations included improper use of zone, outside open storage, commercial vehicles, excessive commercial vehicles on the property, and fence zoning violation.
Okay, which one of you wishes to speak first?
we filed the paperwork for the variance. We're supposed to be back down here on the 23rd. We have the sign. They just put the sign up in our front yard about the fence and all the stuff, so it's all in order.
You bring any paperwork or?
I've got an email on my phone. We've got a guy. We can't never get a hold of none of you people down here, so we're in the midst. We're probably going to sell the place, to be dead honest with you. We've been paid the money. We've got the paperwork. We're going to come back here on the 3rd or the 23rd. We've got septic tank problems and we got everything that could have went wrong with this property's gone wrong. We're going to put it on the market and sell it. We're done. We don't want to deal with Hillsborough County no more. We don't want to deal with you people. We're just going to get out of here and go to my other property in North Florida where we don't have these issues. But we're going to go ahead and proceed with the code enforcement issues and fix them, and then we're going to put it on the market and sell it.
Okay, I don't understand how the open storage commercial vehicles.
I bring the vehicles. I've got 2 properties. I bring vehicles from my other property in North Florida to here. I actually got I got my whole front yard dug up right now. I have no septic tank. My drain field's gone. I ripped the porch off. My whole yard is tore up right now. I've been 4 days fighting the rain trying to put a septic tank in. I'm tired of the place and I'm tired of fighting with y'all people. But we have filed the paperwork. The sign's in my front yard for the variance for the fence, the containers, and whatever else. You know, people can't own trailers and stuff. I've got 4-wheelers. I've got a Jeep that I put on a trailer that I take to a mud bog. You got to have a trailer to trailer. Can't drive it on the street. So I'm over it. We're going to finish the variance and we've done paid the money. The sign's in my front yard. We have a hearing with y'all on the 23rd. I'm just tired of dealing with this place.
You have a hearing on the 23rd. Okay. I grant in case number 2000726. I give 90 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $250 a day be assessed. So you either have 90 days to get everything that's in violation.
Well, I'm coming to see you on the
I'm not
23rd.
finished, sir.
Well, neither am I.
Or if you have it sold by then, not a problem, not your problem.
That's fine, that's fine. We'll be back here on the 23rd with y'all's variance.
You won't be here. You're going to go before a variance hearing.
Well, it says the address is here.
It would be, yes.
Yeah,
So it
so
won't be us.
that's fine, that's fine.
Okay. All right, you got 90 days and go to your other meeting and see what they want to do.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Next case.
Next case is on page 2, item 4, case number CE 2000-8640, Daniel R. Scott and Christina L. Scott, and we have service. Sir, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Daniel R. Scott, 1702 Terra Trace, Brandon, Florida, 33510.
Okay, good morning, Charles Harwell.
Just a moment, just a moment. Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good morning, Charles Harwell, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This case originated on June 9th of 2020. It's owner occupied, not in foreclosure, and there's no life safety issues. It's a fence zoning violation. It's a corner lot. If you can go to slide 2, you could see the location of the property. So it has 2 front yards based on the location, right? So it has a side yard acting as a front yard, and the fence in a side yard acting as a front yard cannot encroach more than 10 feet into the required front yard. And then the fence is a little high. It's got to follow the natural grade of the land, so it can only be 6 foot measured from the ground. And you can also see that the position of the good side of the fence, the finished side, should be facing the public. So that's also an issue.
That piece right there is going to be the finished product. Both sides, we'll run the other picture at the other one you just passed. If you go back, can you see that corner right there by the sidewalk? That will be the actual finished fence. It's getting double faced, so it will be a finished face on both sides. The 2x6 is actually below the ground level. So the 2x6 is not to add height, it's to add stabilization and to keep my ground from eroding onto the sidewalk. The fence will be at 6 foot. I have pictures if I can make copies for y'all. They're labeled in the top left-hand corner, 1, 2, 3, 4 to 8. My wife is on her way late, but she has more pictures. I have them digitally right now, but she had them printed. The height difference, right there, you can see that. My neighbor actually installed it. If I look at the pictures, I guess I'll just run through the pictures real quick, if you don't mind.
What did you want to do?
Just run through the picture numbers, and kind of explain the pictures if you don't mind, or.
Okay, you've only got 10 minutes to do your whole.
I understand. If you look at picture number 1, you'll see actually my dog in that picture. You'll see a level line at the bottom. That stake is to the bottom of my pool deck. And it grades to.
Excuse me, we're gonna have to stop sharing the screen.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm new at this.
That's okay.
All right. My time stop? I've watched a couple of these. I guess. I understand. I understand, sir. I'm trying to see it. Okay, yeah, that's picture number 1. And you can see my dog. And then the neighbor can barely see the line there, but difference is that my neighbor put it in, you can see my pool deck right there. The fence, when I stand on my pool deck, is below 6 feet.
Please speak into the mic.
When I'm standing next on my pool deck and the fence that you see my dog leaning on I stand over that fence. Now, when my yard is final graded, that 2x6 will be below the ground, and you will be standing right there at top of that fence on the right-hand side, and you'll be 6 foot tall from the ground. If you go to picture number 3, it's hard to see, top left-hand corner.
You got to put it underneath the thing. Coach.
That's the actual grade of my ground. Now it's getting raised up because of my pool deck, and it's actually a 1:3 ratio, 1 inch down to my fence. That one don't really apply. And then you can see on this, on that level line, the grade is actually going, well, I guess it don't show good, but the pitch is going to the right. And the way that line is out, if you go back to the other picture, you'll see the left-hand side goes to my pool deck. The right-hand side goes to the fence. So it's actually sloped going towards the fence. And this one here, number 5, I think. I think it's picture 5. You can see the natural ground and how much ground I took out because we're going to put pavers along the side of my pool deck. And then you can see where the 2x6 is on the right. It's actually almost covered now. There's about 2 inches that's still visible. But once this ground is graded, you will not be able to see that. And the actual slats will be about a 1/2 inch under the dirt. I'm not raising my land. I'm just going from a natural grade from my pool deck to the sidewalk.
Mr. Chairman, Stephen Saucer, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I was the one who performed the initial inspection. I met the folks involved on the initial inspection. The 2x6 at the bottom was put there because he said his dog would get out. That's why the 2x6 was there. The finished side of the fence is supposed to be facing out towards the public right of way. That's the fence zone. That's one of the fence zoning violations. Plus, if we go back to the beginning slide, you'll see the older fence that was there before, and that is still there. And the newer fence is on the outside. And there's an obvious difference between the old fence and the new fence that he is installing.
Because I stopped construction as soon as we spoke, because I wasn't putting another dollar in it until I knew what I had to do. If you notice the picture you're referring to, sir, it is a finished product. That's the same fence that I put up when me and you spoke, and I didn't paint it. I was painting when you stopped that day. If you look at the other side, it's painted. If you go out there today, my wood is rotting because I did not paint it.
I understand, but the fence zoning violation is clear cut.
Clear cut. How am I in violation?
We're
yeah,
not going to argue back and forth. Okay.
I apologize.
So you say you know what it takes to come into compliance.
To get the 2x6 I think there may be a little bit of misunderstanding from the get-go. The
Okay.
2x6 will be completely under the earth. My dog, when he runs the fence line, he disturbs it and pushes the dirt underneath the fence. With the 2x6 being under the ground, under the grade level. So the 2x6 is not going to be above the grade level. The 2x6 will be actually in the ground to prevent my dog from pushing the dirt out.
Okay.
If I may address that specific issue, we already discussed that too. The 2x6 is what is raising the 6 foot high fence above the 6 foot high level. And if you're going to change the natural grade of the ground more than 4 inches, you'll need to get a permit from Natural Resources to do that as well. So in other words, you cannot vary the 2x6 and say that's the natural grade now.
If you look at this picture here, once again, you can see how when I tuck down my old fence, I tuck the dirt down. In order to get my pavers, I got to put base down. So I had to take 4 or 5 inches out and then put new material in. And then along that fence line, I tuck it down to the sidewalk and a little bit below the sidewalk, knowing that I'm putting more material back in. Unfortunately, some of the pictures that I was going to show you about how it's going to look when it meets the curb or the sidewalk, it's going to be just a natural slope. I mean, pretty much you see there, my grass the way it is, you see that I've dug it down where that rake is laying. There's obviously about a 6 inch difference, or right there is about a 4 inch difference. There's about 2 inches of 2x4 still exposed. And then I still have to put the material in. Once I do that, that 2x4 will be under a natural grade off of my pool deck.
Right. the pool deck is something that you build on.
Right, I'm sorry, I
It's
didn't,
not the
I
natural.
misspoke. Underneath my pool deck, I'm still leaving the 4 inches for my pool deck itself. So right here, this picture here. If you look to the left, that's the actual bottom of my pool deck. If you look to the top right-hand corner kind of there, you'll see actually my pool. This is why I have to do this, because my pool deck has cracks, and that's more pictures that's supposed to be in here today. But that's the bottom of my pool. If I don't do this to a natural grade to the bottom of my pool deck, it's going to keep cracking and breaking. I already got to replace one corner of my pool deck because of erosion. And then between me and my neighbor, there's about an 8-inch, because his yard is so much lower naturally from when the development was developed. My corner lot is higher than both of my neighbors.
Okay. Do you understand what the inspector's saying needs to be done?
Yes, sir, I do. It needs to be a natural grade that does not,
Right.
and that 2x6 is not to add height to my fence.
Okay. You need to also, he says you have the fence, the old fence is facing.
Yes, sir. It's
Street.
going to be, yes, sir. Both sides will be a finished product. You'll have slats on both sides.
They're not going to be above 6 feet. You know the rules. You know what he wants. He does not need to come by and show you what he wants, right?
I mean, just for confirmation, if he wouldn't
It's
mind.
up to you. I mean, I'm gonna issue an order that it be done.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I've been out there with our director and met him personally and explained all this already.
But you have yet to come into my backyard and kind of understand the scope of where it's going to come from.
I'm just notifying the chairman that we
Okay.
have been out there with the director already, with this gentleman for his fence already.
No one's been in my backyard though. And
No, we've been in the right of way, but
Okay.
whatever, that's.
I'll get together, walk in the driveway, show them what you want. Show them, go in the backyard. But, all right, I'm ready to make a ruling on this.
Thank you.
I'm grant in case number CE 20008-640. That you have 90 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $250 a day.
How much?
$250 a day. So if you guys want to get together and actually walk the property and show them what's what, he doesn't get it done in 90 days, that's on him. Okay? Stay in touch with your inspector. Next case.
Next case is on page 3, item 5, case number CE 190-17605, Robert M. Lester. And we have service. Sir, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Robert Lester, 12955 East Wheeler Road, Dover, Florida, 33527.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Not the property I just mentioned, but the one in question. Yes.
Thank you.
Dennis Sweeney, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This property has been an issue for several years for overgrowth. The property has been being maintained, mowed here lately. However, we're requesting, because this is a repeat violator, that we have a per occurrence on this particular case.
Okay, sir, what would you like to say?
I would just say, for me, this is an issue of just wasn't aware. So there was an issue. I looked it up. There wasn't much I could find, but I guess it's been checked on since about 2019 on a fairly regular basis. Prior to that, there was an issue of overgrowth. And the reason for it was I just wasn't aware that the property was in an area where it had to be upkept. Frankly, when I bought the property, I had to hire a company to come out with a bush hog, just to bush hog the whole thing, because it was really, really high. And I'd initially intended to build a home out there and then decided not to. So it went for a while without any maintenance to it. I just didn't realize that it was necessary. I guess after the initial violation, I was never notified, which is why nothing was ever done about it. And come to find out, the reason I wasn't notified is the notifications were going to a previous address that I hadn't lived at for 10 years. And so eventually, after a long time, I get a notice. I guess, I don't know how it works exactly, but the county eventually found where I actually live and sent a certified mail. And then that was when I was initially made aware. And so immediately I went out there and corrected the issue. And since then, we go out and mow the property. It's a little high there. I think it was higher before, but basically every few weeks, and it depends on obviously summer or how much rain or how much sun and all that, depends on how high it is. But it has been maintained since the initial one. But again, I called, they told me the address was updated. It still isn't on at least the last letter. And so it's mostly just an issue of communication. I have no interest in being, in violation.
Okay. All right, I rule in case number CE 19017605. Based on the evidence presented, I find the property was in violation of Hillsborough County Code of Ordinances as presented. Further, I find that the property is now in compliance with the code provision, and I order it to remain in compliance with each code provision. You're to remain in compliance, sir.
Yes,
Okay?
sir. Yes.
They want to prefer occurrence? Okay. But it's not again in violation.
It is.
It is again in violation.
It's a repeat violator of a board order dated 2/2019 for case CE 180178868.
Okay, I see that on the top.
May I ask a question? When
Yes.
The latest violation, was that in 2019 or was that more recent?
Yes, the latest violation was 2019.
Most recent 2019. So I think the first time I found out about the initial violation and then when the latest violation, they occurred almost simultaneously. Because it was in 2019 when I found that the certified mail finally found its way to my current address. And then it all happened at about the same time. But ever since I found out about the initial and the second one, which was all about the same time in 2019, it's been maintained.
Okay.
This is
All right.
correct, and may I add one thing?
Sure.
Due to 2020 with COVID, we have been delayed for a year on processing cases like this.
Okay. I'll redo the order. I move in case CE 19017605. Based on the evidence presented, I find that the property was in violation of Hillsborough County Code of Ordinances as previously ordered. On the date 2/20/2019. This constitutes a repeat violation as defined by Florida statute. Further, I find the property is now in compliance with the code provision and will remain in compliance with the code provision. Additionally, a fine of $100 a day would be imposed for any repeat violation after the compliance is achieved. Good there? Okay. So you understand, sir, that if they come by and see it, they can start this fine of $100 a day.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Now, I don't know, is it the property appraiser, clerk of the circuit court? I mean, who would he go to make sure that they have his address on that property?
He would need to go to the property appraiser and correct his address of record.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello? Okay,
Okay, thank you.
next case, please.
Next case is on page 4, item 7, case number CE 2000-9053, the estate of Johnny E. Elliott Sr., and we have service. You could pull down the mic. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please state your name and address for the record, each of you.
Melissa Elliott, 4602 Neesmith Road, Plant City, 33567.
Sir?
Anthony Ross, 4602 Nesmith Drive, Plant City, 33567.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Dennis Sweeney, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. The property, Hillsborough County received a complaint on June 15th, 2020 on this property. Site visit was made to this property on June 12th and, June 15th. The property upon my site visit had accumulations, inoperable vehicles, overgrowth, and issues with roofs and parts thereof on the structure. The inoperable vehicles were corrected. Miss Elliott, I met with her on site the very first visit and also on the follow-up. The accumulations were just removed as of yesterday, according to her phone message to me. However, the issues with the roof on this structure is in very bad shape. As you can see in this photo, the roof is actually collapsing somewhat. The owner of this property is deceased. Miss Elliott is the daughter of the owner. And at this point in time, she's going to be required to get a general contractor to repair this roof system.
Okay, so you're saying the accumulations are gone and the vehicles are gone.
The vehicle I know is gone. She left me a message yesterday on my phone that the accumulations, because we talked a few days ago, I just have to go by and verify that particular situation. The overgrowth is gone. At this point, we're dealing with the roof system.
Just the roof system, okay. Ma'am or sir, which one wishes to speak first?
Yes, sir. We just moved into the house a year and a half ago. He died 2 years ago. And my understanding is they did that with the roof when Irma came through. And her father's girlfriend of 30 years said they took the insurance money and ran. But regardless, I've been repairing a lot of that from the attic on the inside. And since we've been in there a year and a half, I've had to put a new drain field and replumb the whole house. And so we just haven't had the funds with the pandemic or the time to get the roof finished yet. And we're just asking for as much time as we can have. But the work's been really hard.
Can you do your own roof or do you?
Well, you can. The building codes of state of Florida, under the Florida statutes for building and construction is you can pull your own permits if you are the owner occupant. You have to, this property has to be your homesteaded property in accordance to state statutes. These folks are, Miss Elliott is the daughter of the deceased.
But
there's other siblings involved, which no probate case has been started on this property as of yet. So none of the siblings or none of the children have the legal rights to pull the permits. So they have to hire a licensed contractor.
Okay.
And the thing is, I put 5 roofs on a year, but the homeowners always pull the permit for me. And that's the situation we're in. We don't have the funds to pay a contractor, and I can't do the job because we can't get a permit.
And I can't let you live in a house that the roof may just fall in.
I've repaired, what you can't see is all the spots I have repaired, and that's my next spot. I just haven't had a chance to get up there yet.
And the siblings aren't willing to help.
I'm sorry, sir.
Are your siblings, who all's in this with you? Brothers, sisters?
I actually have 5 brothers, but there is only like 2 that live close.
All right, none of these are willing to help you get the permits or get.
Well, we're trying to get the permit, but it's kind of hard because they said I can't get it.
You've got to get the probate done first. Somebody's got to own the property.
Okay. See, I don't understand all that, but I'll have to check on the probate stuff.
Okay.
But I mean, I have somebody that can do it for me if I could just get the other situated.
Okay. Is that all? All right, I'm ready to make my ruling. I grant 90 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $150 a day will be assessed. So you got 90 days to get a contractor, get your brother, get something to where that roof is fixed. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Next case, please.
Next case is on page 6, item 11, case CE 200-11194, Rory Scott Klein, and we have service.
I'm Rory Scott Klein.
Please raise your right hand. And if you'll be speaking, sir, raise your right hand as well. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Please state your name and address for the record, each of you. Thank you.
Rory Scott Klein, 5827 Coventry Drive, Tampa, Florida, 33615.
Sir?
Thomas Howland Cannon, 5827 Coventry Drive, Tampa, Florida, 33615.
And what is your relationship to this case?
Tenant, I've been there.
Please speak into the mic.
I'm a tenant. I've been there since the day we moved in there. I've lived with them for 8 years.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning, Board. My name is Edward Spriggs. I'm with officer with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. Property in question is 5827 Coventry Drive, 33615. The taxes for 2020 are currently unpaid. There is no foreclosure on the house. We, as the county, first came into contact with the property on 7/23/20, when the property in question had several commercial vehicles stacked up in front of it. Since then, we've done numerous inspections, of which on August 14th, the 20th, accumulations have started to acquire in the front of the property and on the sides. Since then, from there, we had numerous inspections where the accumulations had continued, and commercial vehicles have, of course, remained. That is why we're here.
Okay, which one of you wants to speak first?
I've got, all that's been removed. All that's been removed. I've got a picture right here when I've been left the house this morning. I hadn't been aware of this situation until he brought it to my attention yesterday. Somebody signed for this letter without my knowledge. And he found it and he presented it to me this morning. So I took a picture before I left. And if you could see, if I could show this to you, all those vehicles have been removed.
It's not on the phone. You can't give me your phone because I'll have to keep it.
Can I just tell you, like that picture there?
Yes.
You have to speak into the mic.
This picture here, there's a privacy fence there now. That boat trailer's gone. You can't see that now.
I don't believe, without coming into the fence, we put a fence.
Trailer's still there.
There's,
Oh, the boat trailer's still there? Okay.
Yeah, but everything else.
The one picture I saw a minute ago of the diamond shaped thing on a dolly out on our driveway, that literally had to be taken that day because that day we took it down to the work truck to install it. So that was taken, that was there for hours. The chipper tube that's over the privacy fence, that's gone. That truck's been gone forever. That's gone.
Work on. That truck's.
You
Okay.
can't see none
One-
of this stuff anymore.
You have to speak one at a time, and it must be on the mic. Thank you.
the issue had arose from in the beginning, sir, that once the officer had arrived on scene and noticed the commercial vehicles being large bucket trucks, being flatbed, heavy-duty commercial work trucks, there's been an ongoing commercial vehicles there. The gentleman or the vehicles that have been showing up have been involved immensely with tree services. Whether or not they're staying overnight, the evidence has been showing from speaking with the neighbors. The truck's been there. We would go in the evening, come the next day, they'd be there. You go later on in the afternoon, they're gone. As you see with the timestamp on the bottom of the pictures, with the vehicles, they've been on various days, various times. Not always early morning, all hours of the day. I mean, this one here, the last one with the trailer was on Saturday.
Don't let him finish talking.
Last one there that was there was on a Saturday inspection. We have people drive and check for us, and there's always vehicles there. It's been an issue with the neighbors as well.
Okay. What did you want to say? So you'd have to step up to the
Neighbor
microphone.
issue stems from my dog got off the leash and I had a confrontation with him. And ever since that date.
That's immaterial.
Okay. These things that I'm seeing have been repaired. They're fixed.
Okay.
Some of these pictures
right.
are very old. The blue car was sold 6 months ago.
Okay. Well, we'll make it real simple. You're saying everything's fixed. There are no commercial vehicles on the property. All the accumulations are gone. That's what you're telling me.
Except for,
The weight thing may be there. The weight thing may be.
The weight thing may be there.
that's a weight, that's for.
Okay. I'm ready to rule.
That's not my property there.
I grant 3 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $400 a day be assessed. So hopefully everything is gone because he's going to be checking within 3 days. If not, we're going to start the $400 a day fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's my order. Do not bring these commercial vehicles onto the property.
Okay.
Okay,
We rented a place, so they're definitely moving.
that's great. Thank you. Next case.
Next case is on page 6, item 12, case number CE 200-11200, Charles Winters, and we have service. So raise your right hand, please. You swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Name and address, please.
Charles Winters, 5812 Coventry Drive, Tampa, Florida, 33615.
You recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Once again, Edward Spriggs, Code Enforcement. Property concern 5812 Coventry Drive, 33615. The owner is Charles Winters. We first inspected the property in July of 24th of 20. There was various violations at the time. Mr. Winters has been trying to get permits to demolish the property. The violations at the time, he had all kinds of accumulations under the carport. There was sheathing removed from the trailer. Underneath, the workers had cut holes to take the electric, stuff like that. Since then, the sheathing had been fixed, the repair, the accumulations have been removed. The last thing has been the accumulations, or correction, the last thing has been the overgrowth. I spoke to Mr. Winters a few times. We spoke, his concern was of the trailer, getting the permits for the trailer. And at the time, I told him, I said, when it happens, it will happen because he is applying for the permits. They're coming through. But you still have to make sure the accumulations were picked up and the overgrowth, the grass been cut. He did pick up a large pile of tree debris that was there, but as you can see by the picture on the 8th of July, the grass hasn't been cut in months.
Okay, sir, what would you like to say?
Just generally speaking, I've tried in November of 2020. I actually signed a contract to get the house demoed. I've already put a purchase on a new house to put on the property. I'm having trouble with the actual company that was supposed to demo it in the first place. So I'm kind of at a loss, like all this stuff I thought was going to be done months and months ago, and it's just taking forever for all that to happen. But I have all the information.
Okay,
As far as I have.
It's not what we're concerned about here. We're concerned about the grass not being cut.
Right. Well, they were going to grade everything as part of the process with the building of the new house, putting the new house in there. So I thought, honestly, yes, I probably put it off longer than I should have because I thought it'd be done by now, but it's not done, and I apologize for that.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, if all I need to do is cut the grass, I mean, I can make that happen.
Yes, sir. Okay. I rule in case number CE 20011-200. 7 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $200 a day be assessed. So within 7 days, make sure it's cut down.
And that's just the grass we're speaking of. I don't need.
The only thing I'm looking at here is the grass.
Okay. And then just a quick question, maybe you guys can help me with this. The company that I'm trying to get to do this, we can't get that. We're like, they're trying to get the contract signed through my building company to get the place demoed. We can't even get them to respond to us at this point, but they have a contract or a permit already pulled with the county. And they won't cancel it. So if I go in there, where do I go to cancel it for one? And am I liable for anything at that point when I do go in there to try to cancel it?
That I couldn't tell you.
Is there somewhere you can direct me to that could answer that question, or?
Development services.
Development services?
Are they open? Yep.
Okay.
All right.
That's just Hillsborough County Development Services.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you go onto the website, to the county website, under departments, you should find the information.
Okay.
Contact somebody.
Because we're getting close to a year, but it's just.
Well, there's the county center, you know, I'm not sure if it's not really open yet to the public, but they may get you some assistance. Somebody may come down.
Next case, please.
Next case is on page 7, item 13, case number CE 2000-8770. Chitikanta Panigrafi and Laura C. O'Connell, and we have service, and someone is here virtually.
Yes. Good morning, Attorney Shami Dixit. My client's name is pronounced Sitakanta.
Sir, please state your name and address for the record.
Sure. Attorney Shami Dixit. My address is 3030 North Rocky Point Lane, Suite 150, Tampa, Florida, 33607.
He is an attorney.
I am an attorney.
Okay, just a moment and let the picture come up.
I need to ask the counselor a question. Counselor,
Yes, sir.
are you going to be able to present this in the 10-minute time limit, or would you need more time and we put this at the end of the agenda?
Yeah, actually, I need a continuance. So if you look at the docket, we remedied the electrical installation maintenance. That's been repaired and maintained and done. And then I'm asking for a continuance because we're going to.
I don't understand. Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes, I was just answering the councilman's question first, but yes, that is the property.
All right. Go ahead, officer.
Yeah, no, we were just asking for a continuance to get to acquire the variance approval for the gate post.
I know you want to continue. We're having a hard time hearing you. But you want a continuance for the variance for the zoning violation,
Correct.
for the fence, or the
It's,
whole,
it's the post, correct.
okay. We'll just go through it. Go ahead, officer, tell me.
Good morning, Eric Tyne, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. Property in question is 402 Westbrook Avenue, Brandon, Florida. This property was first inspected on June 10th of 2020. At that time, the inspection revealed that the chain link fence in the front yard, which is positioned along the front property line, is 6 feet in height, along with the masonry columns and the electric gate. The property is zoned RSC 6 with a required front yard of 25 feet. Code requires that the fence located in the required front yard be a maximum height of 4 feet. The columns and gate in the required front yard are allowed to be 1 foot taller than that for a maximum of 5 feet. While researching the property, it was found that there were no approvals in place for the fence, columns, or gate to exceed the maximum allowable height. Additionally, there were no permits issued for the masonry columns, the electrical service to the gate, or the recent garage enclosure, and code compliance has an active case regarding the permitting issues. Approximately 2 weeks ago, an electrical permit was issued for the electrical service, so that condition is in compliance. I spoke with code compliance as recently as July 8th, 2021. I've been told that they were contacted in August of 2020 about approvals for the fence, but there's been no contact since then. The latest inspection on July 13th, 2021 found no change and no pending applications. And I have spoken with property owner Laura O'Connell multiple times as recently as the last inspection.
Okay, so counselor, you asked for a variance more than a year ago?
No, what happened, and Mr. Panagrahi is here with me. He travels a lot for work. He contacted me recently. There was August 2020, and then COVID happened, and he was actually stuck out of the country for several months. So he only recently, frankly, got back, contacted me, and I'm going to help him remedy these issues. And so I recently was retained, and we're going to apply for the proper approval for the fence and the gate post. And if that doesn't fail, then we'll take the remedial measures to fix everything. The point is, I just need more time to work with my client to get these issues resolved.
Okay, how long is it going to take you?
Well, I was listening previously. I heard it sounds like application for variances are taking an extended amount of time. I was thinking maybe 30 days would be enough, but it doesn't sound like. So it's a question of getting the application in next week, and then however long the period is taking for these applications to be processed.
Okay. All right, in case number CE 200087770, I'm going to continue this for 60 days.
Yeah.
We don't have a date yet, I'm sure. What I'm doing is continuing this case so you can come back here and somebody's going to have to bring it, showing us proof that you have applied for whatever you need and that it's in pending status, it's denied, or it's approved.
Understood.
Okay, 60 days, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Next case.
You will receive a notice, a hearing notice, because we don't have any dates past next month. So once we receive those dates, you will receive a hearing notice, okay?
Understood. I'll also check your website to make sure I know when the next date is as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next case, please.
Next case is on page 7, item 14, case number CE 2000-9054, the life estate of Joy Fisher and Carol Leanne Newell. And we have service. And is someone, John Fisher, on the line?
I do not see John Fisher on the line.
Do you want to move on to the next case? Okay, so we're going to move on to the next case is item 15, case number CE 2000-8862, Laura Lerma, and we have service. come forward. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Laura Lerma, 3447 Oakwood Drive, Waimama, Florida. My name is Raquel Gomez. My address is 5311 Bell Street, Waimama, Florida, 33598. I'm the translator for Laura.
Thank you. And do you recognize that photo as the property? Thank you.
Okay, officer.
Good morning, Officer Carter, Officer Guy Carter, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. The property in question is located 3447 Oakwood Drive, Waimama, Florida. The property is not in foreclosure and owner occupied. The property was first inspected on June 12, 2020, and it was cited for accumulations and inoperable vehicles. The next inspection was conducted June 23rd, 2020, and the accumulations at that time were complied. However, there was one inoperable vehicle that remained. It was a green Dodge pickup. And Ms. Lerma contacted me on the 14th of this month, a couple of days ago, informing me that the green pickup had been removed. I did confirm that yesterday with a site visit.
So then everything's in compliance?
As far as this case, yes, sir.
Okay. Can you just mark it in compliance, or do I have to rule it?
Are you asking for remain in compliance?
No, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am?
Okay. I rule in case CE 20008862. That based on the evidence presented, I find the property was in violation of Hillsborough County Code of Ordinances as presented. Further, the property is now in compliance with the code provision in order that it remain in compliance with the code provision. Okay. Ma'am, do you understand?
Que ahora está en compliance, tienes que mantenerla en buen estado, la propiedad. ¿Entiendes? Yes.
She does understand. Okay. Next case, please.
Thank you.
Officer Carter, you need to comply the violation in Permits Plus
Yes.
in order for me to change the status, okay?
I can do that.
Thank you.
All right.
Do we have Barbara Peck virtually?
Yes. Barbara,
Okay.
can you hear us?
The next case is on page 10, item 23, case number CE 200-10181. The estate of Stephen J. Peck and Barbara Peck, and we have service. And Ms. Peck, where are you? Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're
Stand by.
about to give?
Barbara, can you turn your mic on? There should be a button on the bottom center. There you go.
Got it. Thank you.
Continue.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Barbara W. Peck, 7502 West Henry Avenue, 33615.
Okay, in just a moment for the picture to come up. Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Jose Reyes, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. I inspected the property located at 7502 West Henry Street on July 7, 2020. At the time, it was occupied, not in foreclosure. That the following violations were noted: accumulations, inoperable vehicles, windows and exterior doors for a shed in the back. On March 11, 2021, the accumulations were removed and that violation was complied, and the windows and exterior door was complied on July 13th, 2021. The only thing that remains is the inoperable vehicle. I spoke with Ms. Peck yesterday, so she said she was gonna have the tire fixed by today. So if it was done, I can pass by there after the hearing and comply the case.
Okay, ma'am, what would you like to say? Is the vehicle fixed?
Yes, as of yesterday at about 5 p.m., a friend had an electronic compressor and he inflated the tires. So yes, it's ready to be re-inspected.
Okay. I rule in case number CE 200110181. You have 3 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $100 a day will be assessed. And officer, you can go by any time within
Yes.
the 3 days and comply it.
Yes, sir.
Next case, please.
Thank you. Cool.
Next case is on page 11, item 24, case number CE 200111039. Guillermo del Rio Espinosa, Maria de Rosario Perez Gomez, and we have service. Someone sign up for this? You need to go there. Sir, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
John Zonate.
Your address?
Address is 12605 Burgess Drive. I represent the client. Their address is 4503 West Parish Street,
Well, we need your address.
12605.
That's your address?
Burgess Hill Drive.
What is your last name again? I'm sorry.
Zonate.
Can you spell that?
Zonata.
And do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes, that's their property.
Thank you.
Okay, before you get started, you said you represent, are you an attorney?
No, I run a consulting firm for architectural design.
Okay, go ahead, officer.
Jose Reyes, Hillsborough County Code Officer. I inspected the property located at 4520 West Paris on July 22nd, 2020, at which time the property was occupied and not in foreclosure. The following violations were noted: primary structure setback for the addition to the side of the property. I've spoken with the owners and with the consultant. They're in the process of applying for a variance for the structure.
No safety issues there?
No.
Okay. Sir, what would you like to tell me?
Just repeating what he said, they're applying for a variance. We already have the architectural plans signed and sealed. We're just waiting to present this to the variance board, and we should have the process done within the next continuance that you give me.
Well, if I gave you a continuance of 2 days, you wouldn't have it.
Well, okay. I
Okay.
think within 60 days. We should be fine.
Okay, let's continue this for 90 days. Or the next hearing date that comes thereafter. She's going to explain to you we don't have a date.
We don't have dates yet past August.
Okay.
So you'll receive the continuance order first.
Okay.
Letting you know that the date will be to be determined. And we will send you a hearing notice with the date once we receive it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, once you come here, though, bring proof of something from the county that you have filed for the permit, where it's standing. You just can't come in here and say, yeah, I filed. Okay?
Yes, I have the docket number and everything else ready.
Good deal. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Next case.
Next case is item 25, case number CE 200-12494, John W. Williams, and we have service.
John Williams, 70.
Sir, just raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Now name and address, please.
John Williams, 7004 Seabury Fort, Tampa, Florida.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Officer, go ahead.
Jose Reyes, Hillsborough County Code Officer. I first inspected the property located at 7004 Seabury Court on July 8th, 2020, which time the property was occupied, not in foreclosure. The following violations were noted. Overgrowth, you can see from the photos. There was a previous board order, 810 of 18, to remain in compliance. So he had been cited before for that. And this is where we're at. The last pictures that I've took, the property's still severely overgrown.
Okay, I don't have on here where there was a previous court date.
So basically, we're asking that he get it mowed. I mean, that's
You're not asking for a repeat violator.
correct. At the time, I didn't realize that there was a remaining compliance order. So we're just asking that he mow the lawn and.
So he's in compliance now?
No.
No, so you want days?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Sir, what would you like to say?
I understand that I let the grass and the weeds grow too high, and I am prepared to mow it immediately. But I need some days to complete that, and I hope I can get 2 weeks to 3 weeks, and I'll have it done.
How high is it already?
It's over the 10 inches.
Yeah, well.
It's several feet high. And this has been ongoing since last year.
Okay. I'm ready to rule.
All right. I've never been to this kind of hearing before. So the one in 2018, I never came to this type of whatever it says.
Okay. All right. I grant 7 days to come into compliance. Compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $200 a day will be assessed. Also, I rule the evidence presented, and that isn't going to work because we don't have him as a repeat ballot, but
He didn't present it as a repeat, so we don't have that information.
that's okay. So we're going to leave it. You have 7 days to come into compliance. Next case.
All right. Thank you.
Next case is on page 12, item 26, case number CE 2000-8795, Pacifica Bayou LLC, and we have service. Ma'am, raise your right hand. Please put your mask up. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Your name and address, please?
Natasha Lopez, 10305 Zachary Circle, Riverview, Florida, 33578.
And your relationship to this case?
I'm the manager.
Thank you. Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thanks.
Good morning. My name is Officer Parker with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This property was initially cited June 17th, 2020 for interior light fixtures, interior surfaces, plumbing leaks and or defects, sink cabinets, and interior surfaces. The property is now vacant. The apartment is now vacant, rather. I tried to inspect the apartment currently. The property manager stated that it is vacant and nothing has been done to the apartment. As you can see, it's extensively water damaged and in very ill disrepair.
Okay, this does not have smoke detectors?
No, the smoke detector was damaged and not working properly.
Okay. And top floor, bottom floor?
Second floor.
Second floor. Okay. Ma'am, go ahead.
It was originally violated last year due to COVID. A lot of our vendors did not want to come out to occupied apartments. We did start on repairs and some of the water damages did come back. The resident was offered to be let out of her lease. She would not leave. Eventually, she tried to actually put in her notice at the end of the year, decided not to leave because of monetary issues along with my company policies. I was not able to transfer her until the beginning of last month. She was transferred and now the unit is a down unit so that we can repair it.
How long is it going to take you to repair it?
I can get it repaired within 60 days.
Okay, within 60 days.
Mhm.
Okay. I grant 60 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $500 a day will be assessed. During the period, this will not be rented. It will stay vacant until it's complied by the officer.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank
Next
you.
case, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next case is on page 15, item 32, case number CE 2000-8895, Michael J. Holmes, and we have service. Sir, please put your mask on. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Michael Holmes, 2413 Wishing Well Way, Tampa, Florida.
And do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Officer, go ahead.
Good morning. Good morning, Officer Sally, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. Property in question is located at 2413 Wishing Well Way and is owned by Michael J. Holmes. Property was first inspected on June 12th, 2020, and it was cited for accumulation and overgrowth. As of my last inspection on July 9th of this year, the only violation remained was the accumulation.
Okay, sir, what would you like to tell me?
I'm going through, when he did all of this here, I'm going through some cancer things right now. I just got out of the hospital. I've been in the hospital for the last 12 days. I got off at the hospital the 5th. I'm trying to get things in order. But right now, I had my brother came down and cut my yard and stuff like that. They're trying to get other things for me. Don't really have no help. I'm trying to do a little bit as I can. I got somebody coming back, actually, supposed to see my yard Saturday. Stuff up under the carport, a lot of it is hiding. I got a couple of couple things up in there. Some of the stuff going, my mother them came down and put a lot of stuff out there in the carport for my house. I'm trying to get things in order, but with this, what I'm going through right now with the cancer stuff, I start my first cancer thing Monday. I've been in the hospital for, like I say, 12 days. I got off on July the 5th, and they're trying to monitor me right now. I probably shouldn't be up here. I need to come up here and get this straight. I want to just have some time to get a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit at a time because that's all I'm going to be able to do.
How much time do you think you need?
Just to clean out the carport and get rid of the stuff. I'm gonna probably donate most of it. I'm gonna try to get somebody to come by and just pick it up. What's the day? The 16th. If you give me about 30 days, I'll get everything. I mean, all of this stuff it ain't gonna be going because some of this is tools and stuff up under my carport. I got another shed in the back. I'm gonna be putting it in, but I gotta just go through stuff because a lot of this is tools.
Okay. I'm ready to rule. I grant 90 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $200 a day will be assessed.
All right.
So you have 3 months to get rid of it. Donate it.
I'm gonna try to. I got a shed in the back. I just gonna try to put most of it in my shed because most of the tools and stuff. I just don't want people up under my carport because it's a generator, pressure washer.
I understand.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, you have 90 days.
Okay.
Okay, next case, please.
Next case is on page 15, item 33, case number CE 2000-8850, George A. Giles, John F. Giles, and Janet R. Giles. And we have service, and we have people in attendance virtually and in person. Ma'am, you could pull down the mic. Can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Janet, Janet R. Giles, 823 Chadsworth Avenue, Sefner, Florida, 33584.
And do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you. And is someone signed in for this?
Someone is, Mr. George, can you hear us?
He did tell me he was having issues with his mic a little bit ago.
Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and proceed.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Where is he? I don't see. I need to see him. Thank you. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I can't hear you. Do you have your mic on?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
George A. Giles, 2604 Cedar Elm Lane, Plano, Texas.
Thank you.
Okay, officer, go ahead.
Good morning, Charles Harwell, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This case originated on June 11th of 2020. The owner is deceased. The two attendees are the son and daughter. So I visited the property on Tuesday, met the daughter. The violations cited were pool barrier access. There's no lanai or security fence around the pool, so the actual perimeter fence is the pool barrier. So the two gates at the time did not have a lock on it, and they're not self-closing, self-locking. When I was there on Tuesday, there is a padlock on both gates preventing access, but they didn't demonstrate that they were self-closing, self-locking. And the other violation is pool sanitation. It looks 100 times better than the initial photo. Miss Janet, let me on the property and we checked it out, and she's working on it. And it does look 100% better, but it's still in violation. So they're going to need some time.
Go ahead, ma'am.
I brought some pictures of the pool that I've been working on. I've just been working on it by myself for the last several months. And there's documentation from my brother regarding the water issue that we had last year. I guess I just need, you know, a little bit more time to be able to finish getting the pool clean. There are self-closing gates, locks and everything. There's pictures of that information as well. The padlocks stay on the gates 24/7. It's just right now I got most of the leaves and everything out of the pool. I'm just working on trying to get the sand out of the pool by myself, and I'm still under doctor's care for a cancer diagnosis from a year or so ago. So I'm doing the best I can, you know, a couple days a week, working on the pool for a couple hours each day, trying to get that cleaned. There's receipts in the packet for all of the chlorine and the algicide and a few other things that I've been purchasing since last June and adding to the pool to get it clean.
Okay, have you shocked the pool regularly?
Yes.
Okay, it looks like it's time to do it again. My biggest problem is if a child falls into that pool, you cannot see them.
Yeah, the water is clear enough at this point to be able to see the bottom, and what you're looking at in the pictures is actually the sand in the bottom of the pool. So the water right now itself is clear enough to see the bottom of the pool and the drain.
Okay, and the gates.
The gates are
I know
padlocked.
you have them padlocked,
Yes, sir.
but if somebody were to unlock one and open the gate for any reason, it would not close on its own. That's why you need self-latching gates. Okay?
Right.
I cannot ignore these gates the way they are or the pool the way it is. So, I'm ready to rule.
May I be heard?
Oh, you need to talk? Go ahead.
Yes, I've installed self-latching gate mechanisms for that chain link fence on the gates. I believe the prior code enforcement officer, Mr. Saucer, had seen those and is aware that they are a new style for actual gates, but we keep the gates locked for security and safety reasons.
Officer?
That's Stephen Saucer, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. The locks on the gates are a temporary measure and are not a permanent fix. That's why, whatever, is that what you were saying?
He said that he installed the self-closing, self-locking, and he showed them to you. That's what I understand.
Yeah, well, we discussed the self-closing, self-latching, and the lock and the chain are temporary measures, not a permanent fix. That's what it is for those.
Okay. All right. Anything else, sir?
I intend to be in Florida in the next 2 weeks or so to address whatever final issues need to be addressed with this. But I do need to understand two things. What's the standard by which this pool needs to come into compliance? The notice that I received says that the pool water is to be clean and clear to see the main drain. Under that standard, I believe it is in compliance. However, under the standard, under the statute, which or the ordinance rather, that's not as entirely clear. The ordinance reads, every swimming pool shall be maintained and operated in a clean, safe, and sanitary manner at all times. I just need to understand what the difference between those two are and what I need to do to come in compliance with the ordinance or the notice.
Okay, I cannot answer your question as to why there may be two different things you're reading from. But to me, pool sanitation, you have to be able to see the bottom of the pool. You need to see the drain, because if that drain grabs somebody who falls in by the hair, how are you going to be able to know because there's sand over the drain?
I think the level of sand is not very high, and the size of a human being would be well above the grain size of sand.
Okay. All right.
I have
I'm
one
ready.
other.
Yeah.
I have one other request. I understand that Mr. Saucer was the prior code enforcement officer, but I have no ability right now to contact, I guess, Mr. Charles Hardwell. And I will need to be able to contact him as soon as this matter is in complete compliance.
You just spoke to him. He was here. He testified.
Yes. No, I mean email address.
Oh, you need his, I can't give you his email address. I don't have it.
All right.
What?
If I contact Mr. Saucer.
Okay, he's going to supply it. He is here. He'll supply his email address to your sister.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'm ready to rule. All right, in case number CE 20008850, I grant 3 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $500 a day will be assessed. Next case.
That's out there. Out in the audience. Will you please silence all electronic devices? Next case is on page 16, item 35, case number CE 200-12813, Maxima Gonzalez, and we have service. Sir, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Tyrone Sandoval, 1538 West Walnut Terrace, Tampa, Florida, 33607.
And what is your relationship to this
My mom.
case?
I'm a son.
That's your mom. Okay, and do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mike Smoke, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. On 8/25/2020, initial inspection was done at 8702 Leeward Drive in reference to a complaint about vehicles on the property. The initial inspection confirmed that there was inoperable vehicles on the property. There was a commercial vehicle box truck on the property. The reinspection was done on September the 4th of 2020. The conditions remained at that time. Then on December the 7th of 2020, condition also remained, but there was additional violations that were detected at that time. There was a RV pop-up trailer on the property with no tag that was sitting on the right-of-way. There's also a double jet ski trailer with jet skis attached within 2 feet of the right-of-way. Those additional conditions were added to the case. Then on March the 1st of 2021, I received a call from Mr. Sandoval informing me that he was representing the property owner Maxima Gonzalez. And he stated that the tenants were being evicted from the property and that the conditions would be complied by March 21st of 2021. Latest reinspection was yesterday, and the conditions with the pop-up trailer, expired tag, jet skis, all remain. The box truck is no longer on the property. But that was it.
Okay, sir, what would you like to tell me?
The code enforcement officer is correct. You know, I made contact with him. The problem with the person that is in the house, my mom rented this house to this gentleman, Rafael Garcia. He refused to comply. I sent him the text message that the violation the code enforcement gave him, and he sent me a text back. I have in my phone that he said he's going to leave by the end of, so just give him 30 days. So I said, okay, no problem, man. Make sure you contact my mom because I'm not going to be available. So he never complied. Tried to make contact with him numerous times. He don't answer my calls. So my mom is disabled. I tried to get a hold of my mom. She's leaving Texas because she cannot take care of herself. So what I did, I bought a ticket for my mom so I can fly her here. So she gave me a power of attorney so I'll be able to take legal action against this resident because he don't want to leave. And then I even called Tico on the 615 because the guy had like some kind of fire there that the electrical box burned. And I reported that Tico and I spoke to Mr. Lawrence 3:36 p.m. I contact his family. I contacted him numerous times. He's not compliant, but I cannot do anything because I don't have a power of attorney. So my mom is coming from Texas tomorrow. I got the flight information here with me because I told you need to be here so you can give me power of attorney so I'll be able to take action. He don't want to comply. He don't return our calls. He don't do anything. So I don't know what else to do with this guy. The corner enforcement, he called me and I relayed the information this guy gave me. Going enforcement being very fair with us. And he called us and tried to listen. I give it this amount of day. So the officer, he done his job very good. So, I don't have to complain about that. But the thing is, the problem that we have with this gentleman, then he keep on saying, well, it's going to be hard for you to get me out of here because the COVID thing. And I explained to him that the government took the thing off already. He said, oh, you can, he's going to, he said, well, do whatever you need to do, but I'm not leaving. So I'm having a hard time with this guy here. I make contact numerous times with his family, the vehicle, the box truck, and everything like that. And now he got his girlfriend there that came out of prison, living there, named Jennifer. And I don't know what else to do with these people. I mean, so I'm waiting for mom to get here so we can go to a local office so we can get a power of attorney. So I'll be able to get action, take these people out of the house, get them evicted, go to court, do something. Well,
Yes.
They're not complying with us. And the court officer did give me enough time. He did work with us, but the person he's not working with is the tenants.
Okay, it sounds like you need to evict the tenant because ultimately you're responsible.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I have all the text messages here that are trying, you need to move in. And I also have the text message, the corner officer say, listen, you need to comply with corner enforcement. We have an issue. You need to address this issue, but he's not complying.
He won't comply, so you can't, I understand. But you do need to get down. Your mother's coming tomorrow.
It's coming Saturday 17th. Saturday she'll be here. I got the flight information. You want to see it?
I don't need to see it.
Okay. No, letting you know that I sent for it because Mom, I know you cannot move. You got medical problem. My ticket for you need to be here. So you can give a power of attorney. So we need to address the issue because this is an ongoing problem since last year. And he don't want to comply. He told my mom, go to hell.
Okay. Does staff know how long it's taken for evictions now that they've lifted the ban on? Nobody knows. You don't know either.
I'm still waiting on Tico also because
Is he still paying rent?
Yeah, they paying rent.
Okay, so it's going to be at least 30-day notice.
Okay.
I was gonna send them a 30-day notice, but I don't know if I'll be able, legally, I don't know if I'll be able to do that because I don't have power of attorney. So like a 30 days to comply, if it's not, they have to go to court.
Right. What you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to get the power of attorney, then you're gonna have to go down. You got to give them a notice, then you go down to the courthouse and you file. They give them a notice to vacate. Then if they don't, you got to get with the sheriff's office who actually sends deputies to move them out.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to continue this case. I'm going to continue it for 60 days. And in 60 days, I want you back here to show me that you have filed paperwork against these people.
Okay.
Okay. You had mentioned something about Tico.
Yes, sir.
Tico is a hazard officer. Does that fall under your? Do you have the right to tell Tico this is dangerous? It needs to be shut off. Okay,
Can I show the officer something real quick about the burn, the thing with the house? I think is very dangerous for when it comes
okay,
to.
that you're gonna have to take up with Tico. That's why I just asked them.
I did with Tico, and I went in and I called him on the 6:15, 15:36 the time, and I spoke to Mr. Lawrence, and I reported the issues and the concern to Tico. I even sent a text message to the tenants. I said, listen, you need, due to the safety hassle, the electrical went on fire. You need to move out of there. It's not safe for you to stay there. He said, oh, somebody's going to fix it. So you cannot do it. You need to move that. I got a text message and everything here. I said, you need to move. I even have the pictures too.
Okay, call Mr. Lawrence back at Tico and let him know nobody's done anything and see what he advises you to do.
Okay.
Okay? Next case, please.
And,
I just want to let you know that you're going to receive an order letting you know that your case is continued for 60 days. We don't have hearing dates yet, but as soon as we do, you'll receive a notice of hearing with that hearing date. Okay?
One more thing is, madam, can they send it to my address? Because we're not getting mails from there either. He throwing the mail in the trash. And like, no, this is the only reason
What you need to do is go to the property appraiser and put your, the address of record and not that address for your mother.
Because even when the call officer put we find out through the name because he threw them in the trash.
So you gave us the address in the sign-up sheet? That's your address that you signed up with?
Yes. Yeah, but I need to put the apartment number. I haven't put the apartment number.
Okay, so we'll get that, but you really need to go to the property appraiser at the county center
Yes.
and put in a change of address to the address that you want your mail to go to, because that's legally, that's where we have to send it to.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next case, please.
Next case is on page 17, item 36, case number CE 21008954, Michael J. Gutzler, and we have service. Is there someone else who signed in for this? I just need you all to raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Sir, please state your name and address for the record.
Michael J. Gutzler. The address is 2106 Inter Vista Lane in Valrico 33594.
And do you recognize that photo as the property?
It is.
Thank you. And I'll get everybody else's name as, not right now. You go ahead and provide your testimony. You're the owner?
I am.
Okay, so we'll go like that first. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Paul Rowan with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This case at 2106 Inter Vista Lane in Sufner began on June 24th. It is basically a rat infestation of the house. The property is a single-family residential PD, which is homesteaded. The taxes are paid and it's not in foreclosure. He has 2 previous cases, but no code board cases in the last 5 years. Because of the level of infestation we have at this property and the amount of complaints that the department received, I served a combination notice of hearing, notice of violation on Mr. Gutzler and scheduled him for this hearing. I had a discussion this morning with the pest control company that began working on eradicating the rats starting July 14th. They're telling me that roughly 2.5 weeks is about the time frame, but it could go longer. As you can see from the video, it's pretty bad. I want to recommend 60 days, but I'm going to leave it up to the hearing officer to make sure, to recommend what he thinks is a reasonable amount of time. This is a life safety issue.
Okay, sir, what would you like to tell me?
Well, we acknowledge that there is a rat infestation, and we've taken the actions to get it resolved by hiring an exterminator, and the extermination is in progress.
And how long is it supposed to take?
As this officer just said, the exterminator thinks it's going to be probably a minimum of 3 weeks.
Okay. Were there other people that needed to talk?
Please, just one at a time.
Hi, I'm
State your name and address for the record, please.
Jennifer Dupre, and I'm at 2113 Valrico Vista Drive.
Go ahead with your testimony.
Just here to kind of make sure we weren't exactly sure how they were going to proceed. And on top of the rats that are coming out of the house, I've killed 12 myself. I share a backyard with him. And just the smell in general from when the doors are open, when his doors and windows are open, that not only the rats get handled, but that the inside of the house be properly cleaned. Because I don't think it's a healthy living environment. I don't think it's healthy to even smell the smell that's coming out of it.
Okay.
Name and address, please.
My name is Victoria Mendez, and I live at 2112 Intervista Lane. It's in Valrico, Florida. I live 2 houses down from the house at 2106, and the video is evidence of what's really happening on a daily basis. There's young children who are riding their bikes in the street, and we've had to warn them to move out of the way because of the rats being in the road. There's people walking their dogs. Have to warn them to get out of the street because of all the rat infestation. I'm not sure of the conditions inside. It's really hard to tell if he even has electricity. I'm not sure. But the windows are always open, and you can see, as you see in the video, that there are rats that go inside his house and up the tree. It's a concern. I think this gentleman needs some help, whether it be more time to help with the infestation or see what's actually going on the inside of the house, because there is an odor. I bought my house in December and it was cooler, so there wasn't a problem. But like I said, I live 2 doors down and I'm now smelling this odor from the house. And I just think he needs some help. And I think we're all here to support him to get some help. But these conditions aren't safe. The lady who just spoke, she has a young daughter. And the kids are the biggest thing for me. If there's a chance that some of these kids get bit or get some kind of illness from the infestation. So that's why I'm here, is to make sure we can try to help him any way we can.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else? Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Chris Davis, 2111 Intervista Lane. I live across the street. It was just brought to our attention, the level of the rat infestation, and we're just here to let them know support and make sure we get the problem fixed.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. All right, everybody spoken? Sir, do you have air conditioning or no?
The house does have air conditioning, but it is not working at this time.
Okay. You have electricity?
We do.
Okay. This exterminator is going to be working on it constantly? What's the terms with him?
Well, they're using traps to catch the rats, and it takes a certain amount of time for them to accomplish that. And I don't think they can tell us straight up exactly how long it's going to take. It's a day-by-day basis to do that.
Okay. All right. I am concerned about the number of rats and that there are children in the neighborhood. There are people walking around, and that the smell. I have no idea what the conditions are inside your house, but that's for them to deal with later. I grant 45 days to come into compliance. Compliance is not achieved by that date. A fine of $500 a day will be assessed. This is case number CE 21008954. Okay, so we're going to take a 10-minute recess.
You should be good. Okay?
I
So I'll see you in 45 minutes.
You talk to exterminator. You're encouraged, but what they were sitting as.
Yeah, I know, my bladder.
So I talked to him. He said, he told me he really felt. Well, he said, just to be sure.
The inside of the house is a disaster. So they decided they're probably not going to sink the money.
Yeah.
Me going back.
He told me
Yeah.
that you told him that all.
Yeah. Yes.
So if you end up selling the house before we get back to a fine, we end up closing the case and we have to start the case on the new people.
Okay, so this is an issue we're going to try to resolve before we do that to make it simpler. And the other thing about the rat poison that got spread, I'm not going to make an issue out of that.
Hey, Paul, that microphone is on if you're on break for 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Yep.
case is on page 17, item 37, case number CE 2000-6338, Sonora Tampa Bay LLC, and we have service.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, thank you.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, Todd Seamy, P.O. Box 191, Gibsonton, Florida 33534. And the owner's here also, and he'll be sworn in later, or was sworn in now and give his address. I'll let the code enforcement officer go first, Your Honor.
Just a moment. Sir, can you come forward and state your name and address for the record?
Dale Corum, 4601 Country Hills Drive, Tampa, Florida, 33624.
And you are the owner?
Yes.
And Mr. Simi, you are the representative? Thank you.
Are you, sir, are you a representative or an attorney?
Yes, I'm a representative land use consultant. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Go ahead, officer.
Code Enforcement Officer Rick Garcia, Hillsborough County. The case in question is CE 2006338. The property is at 1719 Clement Road, Lutz, Florida 33549. The property is zoned ASC 1. It is owned by Sonora Tampa Bay LLC. It is not in foreclosure. The property was first inspected on 5/5/2020. At that time, it was found that there was a commercial business being run out of the property, which is improper use of zone. Since that time, other violations have manifested. Fence zoning violation, fence is 6 foot tall, not meeting the setback. It's along the front of the property. Outside open storage and commercial vehicles, all related to the commercial use of the property. From the date of the initial visit until 4/21/21, the case was in a pending status to allow time for the resolution of the applications for variances. Application 20-0312 was withdrawn from the zoning hearing master agenda as of 12/14/20 hearing, and no subsequent hearings on record to my knowledge. My final inspection was 7/9/21, and the violations cited remain.
Thank you. Okay, you're going first, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to address some of the concerns here and keep you updated as to the good faith of my client who is proceeding according to Hillsborough County codes and regulations. Again, let me just say here, the actions here, as we have this document here to show that the owner has submitted to the county for DRC site review. Okay, now, the owner bought the property as is with everything that was on there. He bought it that way. Okay, it was already there, not permitted. That's how this whole thing came into existence. So to make a long story short, I would like to put this. Can turn that on. There you go. Thank you so much. This is the project ID number for Hillsborough County for site review, which is 5862. Also, it's the $3,077.19 that was paid to site review. As you know, Your Honor, site review is Rick Cabrera. Now, the owner he has agricultural zoning. Now, I had Brian Grady, who I've never asked. I've been doing this since 1986, and I've never asked Brian Grady to come out to a site because, yes, we did have a zoning filing, but we have agricultural zoning. So Brian Grady personally came out and met me, the owner, and the owner's wife out on the property, and that we have an agricultural zoning. And so the owner is going in, he is going to use the property for the koi and wholesale koi and orchid farm himself, where he does a lot of business via email, and there's a lot of demand for that. So the agricultural zoning is allowed, and that the operation that he's going to be doing here, the wholesale koi and fish farm, per Brian Grady, who met personally. And of course, when we have the site review completed, this is straight to construction, then we'll have also the blessing by the county. Now, as you know, Your Honor, that this red stamp right here, that red stamp right there is the Hillsborough County Rick Cabrera's
Development Service Center approval. That took us, this project, a year. We're under construction now. So I'm coming to you before you to let you know these factors is, and we're asking for 6 months, or whenever you say, because that's what it takes to go through site review and acquire that red stamp allows you to proceed and have your tractors and dozers and begin site work. So again, the owner has not, all he's doing is adding a small building. He's in site review right now. He's made all the preparations. We had Brian Grady out there, and as you'll see, that stamp is said Rick Cabrera PE at 458. So I'm letting you know that DRC and site review takes about 6 months, but we'll be at your pleasure, happy to come back and keep you updated. Any questions, Your Honor?
No, I have no questions. You're moving along. Do we have any safety issues on this?
No, sir. This was just mainly a neighborhood issue. Neighbor complaining about commercial use in residential areas.
And it is definitely agricultural?
It's ASC 1, which is not straight agricultural. It's agricultural with residential use.
Right, but both uses are permissible in there per Brian Grady. Thank you, Your Honor.
The only point of contention is that this issue of the koi farm has just recently come up relative to the case. But the use of the property right now is for an entirely different type of business.
Right, Your Honor, but what we're saying is that's why the koi farm, and that's why we're in site reviewing is we know that the koi farm is allowable use, and based upon the approved plans that are going to be done by Rick Cabrera's office to give us that red stamp, the owner will comply with that and he'll be in compliance, Your Honor. We did have, for the record, the owner has other trailers and things like that he's going to be using for the koi farm, and I put those in the record so that code enforcement doesn't keep harassing the owner, but he's doing everything per code, per the county regulations, even per Brian Grady, who sits on the diocese with the BOCC at the hearings, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to continue this case for 90 days. May not be exactly 90 because we don't have the hearing dates yet. And when you come back, you're going to come back with either a yes or a no. That's 3 months. If you can't get it done in 3 months, there's a problem.
Your Honor, I understand that, but I've been doing this since 1986, and I want to say this. I'll come back. I'll be happy to come back in 3 months and give you an update on what approvals I have and if the county needs additional information, and that way we can work together.
Okay, don't just say, yes, I've done this. Bring me something to show me.
Out of respect for you, Your Honor, I'll do that. As you helped us on the last case, I'm grateful to do that for you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Continued for 90 days.
Thank you. I'm just submitting this for the record, Ms. Sonia. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Next case.
Next case is on page 18, item 38, case number CE 200-10168, Elizabeth Corona, and we have service. We have somebody virtual for this?
Yes, hi, this is Attorney Phil Resnick.
I need to see him.
Mr. Resnick, can you please share your webcam?
Yes, as I discussed with you this morning, I have it as shared, so I'm not sure why it's not showing.
Okay, Mr. Resnick, are you using the web version of WebEx? Mr. Resnick, if you can try and back out of the meeting and go back in, it may give you the opportunity to enable your webcam.
No problem. Bear with me one
Thank you.
second.
Number 38, page 18. Back on.
Can you hear me and or see me?
Mr. Resnick, we can hear you. We can't see you still. Is there a video icon on the bottom center of the screen where you're at?
Yes, and I clicked the start video. It says connecting to video services is what it says.
Okay. Do you see a little drop down arrow where the video icon is?
Reason. So if you want to bear with me, I can try to. Video usually works on the phone, right? You want me to try that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead and try that, please. Thank you.
Yep.
Should we come back to this? Yeah. We're going to go on to the next case while that gets straightened out. Next case is on page 19, item 40, case number CE 200-12566. Hatsia LLC and Kenneth Wilson. And we have service. Please raise your right hand, both of you. Come forward. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address, each of you, on the record. Speak into the mic.
Kenneth Wilson.
Speak, get closer.
Kenneth Wilson, 17318 Livingston Avenue, Tampa, Florida, or Lutz, Florida, I'm sorry, 33559.
Sir?
My name is Altaf Bukhari. Address is 2204 Climbing Ida, Tampa, Florida, 33618.
And your relationship to this case?
Actually, my wife's cousin, he lives in Georgia, so he asked me to represent that, so I'm just representing that actually.
Okay, and do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Officer, go ahead.
Code Enforcement Officer Rick Garcia, Hillsborough County. Case number CE 2001-2566-17318 Livingston Avenue, Lutz, Florida 33549, owned by Kuzia LLC. Property is not in foreclosure. It was first inspected on 8/19 of 2020 for accumulations in inoperable vehicles. The case has since complied. I have been in contact with both the representative of the property and with the violator. I conducted my final inspection on 7/12/2021 and found the violations were no longer present. I'm just asking that they remain in compliance due to the nature of the business of the tenant.
Okay, which one of you gentlemen wants to speak first? Go right ahead.
We got no problem staying compliant, or at least doing my best efforts to stay compliant. Most of the stuff that you see in the pictures is gone. That's all gone. And the rest of it's going to be gone here in the next few days. I have a skid steer on site, getting all the debris loaded up from everywhere around there because it's a lot of property and a lot of trees.
Okay, does that gentleman need to speak?
If you need him.
Actually, I represent my brother-in-law, and he lives in Georgia, and unfortunately, he's renting to him. So basically, in the contract also, lease contract, we have that he has to comply all these things. And unfortunately, he's working hard, but he cannot make good money. So he has not paid rent to me, like to my brother-in-law for like still he owes the 7,000. And unfortunately, we cannot take any action also because of the COVID. So I will appreciate if you help me in that actually. And just say if he complies that I want to comply.
Okay. I rule in case CE 2001-2566. Based on the evidence presented, I find the property was in violation of Hillsborough County ordinances as presented. Further, I find the property is now in compliance with this code provision and is the order to remain in compliance with this code provision. So you're being ordered to keep it in compliance, okay?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's
Thank you.
Don't come back.
Thank you. I don't want to.
Do we have him on the line?
I see Mr. Resnick check back in on his phone. Mr. Resnick, you there?
Yes, you should be able to see me.
Okay, I see you have logged in on your phone, but I don't see your video. Try looking at the bottom of your screen again and seeing if you can enable it that way.
It says I'm sending video.
There it is. Now it is.
Okay, so we're going back to item 38, case number CE 2001-10168, Elizabeth Corona, and we have service. And sir, will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
And please state your name and address for the record.
Philip, Philip. Last name is Resnick, Reznik, on behalf of U.S. Bank. And the address for mailing for us would be, bear with me 1 second. It's going to be 5404 Cypress Center Drive, Suite 300, Tampa, Florida, 33609.
Okay, do we have a photo? We're on page 18, item 38. Do you recognize that photo, sir, as the property?
I do not.
What did he say?
I do not.
Right, so he does not recognize that property. Have you never seen the property before?
No, I have not personally seen the property. Again, I represent U.S. Bank, the first mortgage company. I do not represent the borrower.
Okay, so he represents the bank, yeah.
Officer, go ahead.
Code Enforcement Officer Rick Garcia, Hillsborough County. This is case number CE 2001-0168. The property in question is 3202 Russet Drive, Tampa, Florida 33618. It is listed as being owned by Elizabeth Corona, and also U.S. Bank is an interest in this property. The property is in foreclosure. I believe there was a judgment on it. The resident was set for eviction, but since filed bankruptcy, putting a stop to any further action, is my understanding. It was first inspected on 7/7/2020 for overgrowth, roofs, and our parts thereof, and decorative features. On 6/18/21, there was inoperable vehicle discovered on the property due to a subsequent complaint, which was added to this violation. As of this date, the violations remain. I have not been in contact with the property owner. The resident has not contacted me regarding these issues. I conducted my final inspection on 7/9/2021, and all the violations remain. It's my understanding that the resolution of this cannot be moved forward until the tenants or the resident former owner has been evicted.
Okay, sir, what would you like to tell me?
Yes. As far as the foreclosure goes, the final judgment was entered quite some time ago, last year. Then, as you guys are most likely aware, there was some moratoriums placed on foreclosure. This is a FHA loan, so the current moratorium expires July 31st, 2021. It's our understanding those moratoriums will not be extended. So presuming they are not extended, all we need to do is set our sale date, which we would plan to do. We plan to file the motion first thing in August to get a sale date. In Hillsborough County, we're probably looking at a 45-day sale date. And then at that point, if we need to, then it goes up to sale. Either a third party is going to purchase it, or if our client purchases it, our goal would be to remedy this situation as quickly as possible. I will go ahead and inform you guys that as far as the bankruptcy goes, that is no longer impediment for us. The bankruptcy was closed out late last year, so that's gone. So the only thing we're waiting on is for the moratorium to be lifted, and then we will proceed accordingly. So all we're asking for is some additional time so that we can fix it up for you guys. And I don't know if it's possible to potentially email me those photos that you guys have, because that would help our clients, just so that we're aware of everything that's going on. And do you know if anyone is living there when you did an inspection? Our understanding was it was occupied, but if he said he was there 7/9, that's pretty recent.
You want to know when they're doing what do you want to know?
I had simply asked if the inspector was there on 7/9, was it still occupied? Because our understanding is it was still occupied. Hence the reason we can't do anything about it.
Okay.
It appeared to be occupied. There were numerous vehicles there, and new vehicles have been seen to come and go from there. Same vehicles moved in different positions. It's a location that I frequently pass by, so I kind of keep an eye on it. So yes, I believe it's occupied still.
Thank you.
Okay, sir, have you all started proceedings that were halted is what you're saying?
Yes, sir. The final judgment of foreclosure was entered on, and we actually, as the code enforcement, we had a sale date last year, but she filed bankruptcy on us to prevent it. So final judgment's been entered since March of 2019. So all we have to do is set a sale date once the foreclosure moratorium is removed.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and continue this case for 60 days. Hopefully within then they will have opened things up. You've got your judgment. You can have them evicted. We don't have a date yet, but y'all will contact them.
We don't have future dates, so we don't have a date for 2 months out for a hearing yet. We haven't been able to schedule, so you will receive an order that is letting you know that the case is continued, but it's not going to have a hearing date. But then you will receive a notice of hearing once we have those dates available.
Thank you, ma'am. And would that come to the address that I provided you?
We'll get that from the record. What was the address? Go ahead.
So our attorney, my office is 54.
Okay, hold on. What is it? Sorry.
5404 Cypress Center Drive, Suite 300, Tampa, Florida 33609.
We have that, sir. Thank you.
Okay, and sir, when you come back, bring something showing, the paperwork has been filed, whatever. Something we can look at, all right? It may be all over before 60 days, who knows? But if you do have to come back, just bring us something showing what's been done.
Yes, sir. I can definitely do that for you. I appreciate your all's time today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Okay, thank you. Next case, please.
Next case is on page 20, item 43, case number CE 200-12963, Park Place Villas Holding LLC, and we have service. And raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record.
It's Candace Camacho, 6919 Bonnier Drive, Tampa, Florida, 33617.
What is your relationship to this case?
The district manager?
Thank you. And do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Good morning. Roy Livingston, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement Officer. I visited this place on July 12th, 2021. The first visit was to a structure fire, apartment buildings. That was August 25th, 2020. There was one condition, nuance condition that was complied. The other two are still outstanding. I met with the property manager yesterday, who said that she would bring permit paperwork today.
Okay, ma'am?
Yes. So they have finally signed the contract for the general contractor to start the work. They have been pulling the permits that are necessary, and it is through Blue Sky.
Okay, these are apartments.
Correct.
They are owned by individuals or they're rented.
They're owned by a coastline management, and there was a resident fired, and because he had oxygen tanks in his apartment, it pretty much looked like that. So it's been in the process between the owners and the insurance company and so on. So they have finally, everyone has signed paperwork and the work is starting.
Okay, how long do you think it's going to take?
The contractor thinks that it could be about 90 days.
Okay,
Sir,
yes.
I do not see a current Hillsborough County permit number on this.
I don't have that, but the blue people from Blue Sky are pulling all of that. I don't have that.
Okay, so that would be one consideration is once we see the permit, we could extend the case, but without that, a current permit number, they're probably going to need more time.
So your contractor's telling you within 90 days, he can pull a permit and have it fixed?
Correct.
Okay. All right. I grant 60 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $350 a day be assessed. You got 60 days for him to do what he's got to do, and this is to remain unoccupied.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, you got transients and whatever, make sure. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Next case, please.
That concludes those that are, or is there somebody else in the audience?
Got a gentleman sitting out there. Seeing there's no one present in the audience for the remaining cases on the agenda, I'll now review the case materials previously provided by the county staff. Find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances as listed in staff's presentation. My ruling in each case will be based on the evidence presented and the gravity of the violation, action taken by the violator and the violator's history in determining the amount of fine that will be assessed. And first case.
First case is on page 2, item 3, case number CE 2000-9253. This case complied on July 8, 2021. Page 3, item 6, case number CE 2000-8781, Susan Paleo. We have service and no one is present.
Which one are we doing?
Number 6, page 3.
3. Okay. Go ahead, officer.
Dennis Sweeney, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This case came to us on June 10th, 2020, through the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department. I made a site visit and found accumulations, inoperable vehicles, and outside open storage on this property. I spoke to the son of the owner who lives on site, Mr. Hollenbach. These items they're still consistent and they're still, in violation of these conditions cited.
When did you speak to him?
I spoke to Mr. Hollenbach the initial date of June 10th when I made the first site visit. I also served notice on his mother, the owner, Ms. Paello, on her behalf, because he stated she was inside on oxygen at the time of my last visit, which was July 2nd.
Okay. I grant 30 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $300 a day be assessed. Next case, please.
Page 4, item 8, case number CE 2000-9192. This case complied on July 9th, 2021. Page 5, item 9, case number CE 2000-9225. Mary Dunbar Humedi. We have service and no one is present.
Go ahead. Dennis Sweeney, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. We received a complaint on this property. I made a site visit on June 17th, 2020. The property is zone AS1. The property owner of this property has already been cited in a previous case before this board. Code Enforcement case 19006856. At this time, accumulations and the broken window continue to exist. The inoperable vehicles and the overgrowth have been abated. However, we would like to have a per occurrence on this particular case.
Okay, so you're saying some of them have come into compliance and some are not in compliance.
Correct. The inoperable vehicle and overgrowth is in compliance at this time. The accumulations and the broken window is not in compliance.
So the per occurrence needs to just be on the repeat violations.
Right.
Okay. First, on CE 2009-225, on the vehicles is a repeat, the doors, windows and exterior doors. They have 14 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $250 a day. Part 2, we're going to have a part 3 because overgrowth and accumulations are still in violation. Yes.
The overgrowth and inoperable vehicles are complied at this time. The accumulation is the only thing that's existing with the broken window.
Okay. All right. In case number, this is the second part of the case. So with the evidence presented, I find that the property was in violation of Hillsborough County Code of Ordinances as presented. Further, I find the property is now in compliance with the code provision and the order that it remain in compliance with the code provision. That's for the one that was not adjudicated before.
Well, you can put the per occurrence on the 3.
Okay,
And then you can just put the order on the accumulations.
okay. Additionally, I didn't give a fine for this though.
For the accumulations.
For the accumulations, I gave a fine of $250. So here I would go back and
How many days for part 2?
14.
So 14 for both parts.
Correct.
And the fine for the repeat violation.
Would be $250 a day.
So each one would be 250.
Each one would be $250. Did we get it all in there?
Okay.
Okay.
And your per occurrence?
Per occurrence, I gave the per occurrence order. Did I not?
No.
Okay, we'll come down here where it says it. Additionally, the fine of $250 a day per occurrence be imposed for any repeat violations after completion is achieved.
Correct.
Okay?
Yep.
All
All
right.
right, next case is on page 5, item 10, case number CE 200-10522. This case complied as of July 8th, 2021. Page 7, item 14, case number CE 2090-54, the life of estate of Joy Fisher and Carol Leanne Newell. We have service and no one is present.
Eric Tyne, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. It's property 524 Fox Run Trail, Apollo Beach. It was first inspected on June 16th, 2020. Was cited for accumulations, overgrowth, and inoperable vehicles. As of July 2nd, 2020, the accumulations and overgrowth were complied. At the most recent inspection on July 13th, 2021, there were 2 inoperable vehicles on the property with expired tags. One expired in 2019, another that expired in 2020.
Okay. A rule in case number CE 20009054. I grant 7 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, fine of $250 a day be assessed.
Thank you.
Next case.
Page 8, item 16, case number CE 200-11316. This case was pulled per staff as of July 14th. Item 17, case number CE 205927, Alan Fish. We have service and no one is present.
Good morning. I'm Mondo Gutierrez, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. I initially inspected this property listed at 336 Ridge Road, Wiramama, Florida, on April 27, 2020. As of my last inspection, July 1st, 2021, all violations remain the same.
Okay. I rule in case CE 2000592 7. I grant 7 days to come into compliance. Compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $250 a day be assessed. Next case.
Page 9, item 18, case number CE 200-10983. Item 19, case number CE 200-10985. And item 20, case number CE 200-10986. These all will pull for staff as of July 13th. Page 10, item 21, case number CE 200-10987. This was pulled for staff as of July 13th. Item 22, case number CE 200-10096, James M. Pardo and Lisa Pardo. We have service and no one is present.
Jose Reyes, Hillsborough County Code Officer. I inspected the property at 4518 West Elm Street on July 8, 2020, which time the property was owner occupied, not in foreclosure. The following violation was noted: accumulations that has since complied as of 7/9/21. I'm asking for remaining compliance for 2 previous violations of accumulations.
Okay. We're on case number CE 20010096. I rule that based on the evidence presented, I find the property was in violation of Hillsborough County Code or ordinances as presented. Further, I find the property is now in compliance with the code provision and the order that it remain in compliance with this code provision.
Thank you.
Welcome. Next case, please.
Page 12, item 27, case number CE 2000-8419. This case complied as of July 10. Page 13, item 28, case number CE 2000-8421. This case was closed for staff as of July 10. Item 29, case number CE 2000-8854, Scott M. Edwards and M. Lorraine Edwards. We have service and no one is present.
Donald K. Bowling, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This case was initiated in mid-2020. There had been 5 visits. Original offenses were inoperable vehicles and overgrowth. Overgrowth was complied by another officer after pre-CEB status. The remaining violation is inoperable vehicles. The last visit was on 7/6/2021. Were at least 2, probably 3 inoperable vehicles were observed and photographed.
Okay. I rule on case number CE 20008854. I grant 7 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $300 a day be assessed. Next case.
Page 14, item 30, case number CE 2000-3208, Salvador Diaz-Toque and Espifania Diaz-Toque. We have service and no one is present.
Good morning, Officer Sally, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. Property in question is located at 7404 Patricia Place Lane. Property was first inspected on March 6, 2020, and it was vacant and abandoned, and it was cited for accumulation. As of my last inspection on July 9th of this year, same violation still exists.
Okay. I rule on case CE 20003208. I grant 7 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $250 a day be assessed. Next case.
Item 31, case number CE 2000-8233. This case complied as of July 12th. Page 16, item 34, case number CE 200-11292. This case was pulled for staff as of July 14th. Page 18, item 39, case number CE 200-12137. Corey Mustang, we have service and no one is present.
Code Enforcement Officer Rick Garcia, Hillsborough County, case number CE 200-12137. Property in question, 3127 Sandsburg Drive, Tampa, Florida, 33618, owned by Corey Mustaine, believed to be tenant occupied. The property is in foreclosure. It was first inspected on 8/12 of 2020 for accumulations, overgrowth, fences, and inoperable vehicles. As of the last inspection on 7/9/2021, none of the items have been complied. I have not been in contact with the owner or the tenant.
Okay, case number CE 200122137. I grant 7 days to come in compliance. Compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $250 a day be assessed. You're welcome.
Page 19, item 41, case number CE 200-10535, I Touch LLC. We have service and no one is present.
Good morning, Code Officer Roy Livingston. This property is a commercial strip mall located at 7610 North 56th Street. Specifically, 3 suites were originally cited, 7612, 7614, 7616. The first visit was July 13th, 2020. The first contact with property manager was July 28, 2020. My last visit, 12 July 2021. The 7612 had been fixed, but 7614 and 7616 still, the AC was not working.
Okay. In case CE 200010535, I grant 7 days to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that date, a fine of $300 a day be assessed.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Next case, please.
Page 20, item 42, case number CE 200-11417. This case was complied on July 13th, and that concludes our agenda.
If anybody has anything to say, we're adjourned. Miss Murphy, you there?